Welcome back and good Wednesday evening, everybody. It's been a while since we've done this. We skipped a whole week worth of live streams. Found out that making a podcast is not as easy as I had thought that it was going to be. But we got a fantastic overall impression from the first podcast. It was very well received by a lot of different people. We've received tons of feedback from other people and businesses and individuals. It's been fun. It's been very fun. But let's see who we got here and see what's going on. So Frontier Firewood, they're here. He said he just got off work. We got Wise Choice Firewood. Got Mike from Lake Ontario Firewood. Mike, I see you're not feeling good. I hope you get feeling better, buddy. Hope it's nothing too serious. Josh Leach, Yadkin Valley Outdoors. Speedy's here. Sherry Miller, she's here. So yeah, we got a bunch of the gang in here. Oh, here they all come now. Got Rob from outside in the 515. David Parker, how you doing, my friend? Kevin Violet, K-Train's here. Podcast 2 thumbs up, says Frontier Firewood. The podcast was a huge success. So we are thrilled with what has happened with the podcast so far. Very, very encouraging. Daniel Atkins, so the SOL department did not check out on us, even though we skipped a couple of live streams. So any complaints, go right to Daniel Atkins. He'll take care of that. He does a fantastic job with that. Yeah, it's been warm everywhere, Yadkin. It's crazy. We've had some. Yesterday was a good day. Today was hot and humid again. Tomorrow's going to be hot and humid again. It's just been crazy. Billy D, how we doing, buddy? Robert Cunningham, how's the weather down in Texas, my friend? Craig's Cord to Coles. And David Parker says, don't forget to hit that like button. He's absolutely correct. So the podcast, just so that you guys all know, for those of you that are here, we're big boys now. So the three of us, the three rednecks that did that podcast and tried to be professional and do a good thing, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and on Amazon Music. So if you listen to normal podcasts on a podcast platform, if you put in God, Guns, and Sawdust, it will show up right there and you will be able to find it. You can subscribe, and anytime that a new episode is released, you're able to go ahead and see that and listen to it instantly. So that's a fantastic thing. Oh, Robert says it's raining in Texas. Well, that's too bad. Ed Miller, Stumps and Firewood, good evening, buddy. Good to see you. The wife just found out I am the SOL department for Willey's Firewood. Uh-oh. I don't know if we were supposed to tell her or not, but he does a fantastic job. Daniel is very, very good at handling all of those complaints, so we we appreciate him for doing that for sure. Robert Daigle says, great podcast the other night. Well, appreciate that. We didn't realize just quite how much work it was, but we did a good job with it. So for those of you that have been following my health journey this short period of time, I'm officially to the point where my pants don't fit anymore, and if I don't have suspenders, people are going to be disappointed. Down almost 30 pounds, 4 more pounds, and I'll be down 30 pounds in 3 weeks. My energy levels are up. I feel better. I'm moving better, and the weight is continuing to come off quickly. It's a really, really nice change. So looking forward to see what we got going on there. So my audio cut out, said I might be talking about something big. So we do have something big coming. I have a few big things coming. First big thing is I'm taking an international trip probably tomorrow afternoon and Friday. And we're going to be coming back with something new for the woodyard. So that's pretty cool. And I've got 2 other great big things in the works that if they come to fruition, I'm hoping the deals will be signed soon. I will release that information to you guys, but if that's the case, I'm going to have something very special that I'm going to be able to share with all of the firewood enthusiasts out there. So stay tuned. Stay tuned. We went live this morning while we were working stacking wood. Some of you guys saw that. I'm going to try to do one live randomly throughout the week, and it may be different times here and there of us working and having that up. So it's going to be, hold on, my ADHD. I saw Daniel's comment. Going to Canada or Mexico don't count as an international trip. Then I'm not going internationally, but I'm still bringing something back home. So there's that. But yeah, so we're going to do that and get that knocked out in the next couple of days. It'll actually be a short trip. It's a lot shorter trip than going to record for the podcast and do all that. We have 6 episodes recorded for the podcast that will be released every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And again, you can find them on all of your podcast platforms, all that stuff. So all of that will be there. 902 Hand says, say hi to Cord King for us. Well, I might just have to do that. James Lacey, good evening. Good to see you, my friend. So, podcast success, 2 thumbs up. Couldn't been better. Couldn't get a picture on your live this morning. Not sure why that is, Clarence. We were stacking restaurant wood. So, once a week, I'm going to take and I'll try to announce ahead of time if I can, but I don't know what I'm doing from day to day. Especially as busy as I am now, I'll try to announce one of the lives, and we're going to do it while we're working. We may be splitting wood, we may be stacking wood, we might be delivering wood, but we're going to bring you guys live with us somewhere, sometime when we're doing that so that you can see us working. We work all the time. It's hard to record videos. I didn't do a video today because we stacked wood for the restaurant. We delivered that. We got that taken care of. And then I went and dug a sewer line with my buddy Dave for the afternoon. And we got that almost wrapped up. It was one of those deals where you help somebody if you can. And he says, hey, I got a couple-hour job. I need an extra set of hands because he's just had surgery on his wrist and his elbow. So he's kind of bummed up right now. And I said, yeah, no problem. I said, I'll go ahead and I'll help you out. He says, just a couple hours. Shouldn't be bad at all. Yeah, couple hours turned into 6 or 7, and we still got to go back tomorrow and finish. So we're not anywhere near done, and that's okay. It was hot, it was humid, it was sticky, and it was a broken sewer line. So not much fun, but we've got all the plumbing hooked back up. We've got the water plug put into the foundation where the new line comes out through, and everything's drying for the night. The gentleman can use his sewer again, and he should be all set, but it was a process and a half, but we've got it taken care of. No, I can't keep a secret, 902, and I don't like to keep secrets from you guys. That's the hardest part about the 2 things that I'm working on right now. If I can get those figured out so that I don't have to try to keep the secret anymore myself, that'll be awesome. But if I get some signed paperwork back that says it's okay for me to spill the beans a little bit, we'll start dropping hints and teasers at what may be coming. And I'm really hoping that it does because I'm excited about it. It's something that I don't think I've been this excited about anything in a long time. And I'm looking forward to the challenge that it will bring. And it's just going to be really interesting to see how all of that goes. So you know one of them, Robert, but there's another one too. And the other one, I'm sworn to secrecy until anything is in writing. And I mean anything. So there's some big potential changes coming. One of them involves firewood, but it doesn't. And that's all I can say. So, no, it's not a little Russ. No more little Russes. No more little Russes, that's for sure. That department has been taken care of after Richard came, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. Working on roadside racks. So I was planning on building roadside racks this week. You guys saw my video earlier this week. Most of you probably have by now. That may get pushed to next week because I have some interesting things coming from one of the companies that we're an affiliate with, and we're going to be doing some stuff different. I realized that they did a bunch of things that I didn't even know they did. So it's going to be kind of really cool to see how that all works out. That's going to be a different adventure. So we've got lots and lots and lots of stuff going on. It's busy. I've got more logs coming tomorrow. Probably 2 loads. It's going to be a pretty good mix of oak and cherry mostly. And that's good because I don't know if you guys saw in the video or if I told you guys in the video, but the barbecue restaurant that we used to do the little 8-inch firewood for, you know, 2 times what Dan Back 40's mini firewood is. we got a big upgrade from that restaurant. So we went from probably a cord a year worth of sales of those 8-inch splits to he bought a 1,000-gallon offset smoker and he wants a cord a week, possibly 2 cords a week, depending on how much wood it actually uses. So we could have turned 1 cord customer into a 50 or a 100 cord customer. So that's going to be a really, really big change for us, and I'm looking forward to it. I've got a notebook here that I keep now. Because if there's anything that comes up that has ideas or anything like that, so I gotta write them down. I'm just too busy. So I gotta I gotta do what I gotta do to be able to remember. So if anybody has anything important, it goes in this notebook now. I write it down and then I can't forget it. I just can forget where I put my notebook and then I search for that and don't find it. So I've already lost 1 notebook, but this one, I have a spot where I keep it. I have a notebook spot. So, John, JNS Firewood, good to see you, buddy. Glad to see you popped in there. Robert Cox, good evening. Alan Boucher, Cord King, yeah. We got one coming home. And Cord King has pulled out the stops on this machine. I am very, very, very excited to get it home and get it put into some wood. It's going to be a very, very interesting machine. When I first saw the first go around of this machine, I thought, it's okay. I said, I wish it was faster. I wish it, you know, had a few changes and this and that and everything else. They listened, and boy, did they listen. This thing is really, really quick now. It's really, really strong. So not only, well, you guys are just going to have to wait and see. There's multiple wedge options that this thing will push, and it pushes them easily. So we're going to be able to do some really awesome things with this machine. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to give Gramp and Kevin both the ability to completely make firewood for me, because I'm going to have to do a lot of traveling. So we're going to be traveling a lot with the podcast, with logging shows, with all of that. So we're going to have all kinds of things going on. And if they can produce firewood from start to finish without having to have me around in an easier and safer fashion, really, really excited to see how that works for us. So going to be really cool. Time in the Buckeye. Good evening, buddy. Yeah, so Glenn saw the new All Wood Splitters today. So if you guys have not checked out All Wood Log Splitters page, Bobby dropped 2 new models today. One of them we've had, it's just an upgraded model. The other one is a brand new model. And I'll tell you right now, the All Wood Redwood is probably the baddest log splitter I have ever seen in my entire life. It runs a 69 horse Isuzu diesel engine, and the second stage pump output on that machine is faster than most of everybody else's log splitters in their first stage. It was pushing through a think a 16-way wedge in that video. He's got a 24-way wedge coming for it, and it will just absolutely demolish what is going through it. It is absolutely crazy. If you have not gone and checked it out, I put a link in a post on my YouTube page. It's on my Facebook page. The machine is an absolute beast. It is so cool. And something new that he put on it is an electronic split feature. So check that out. He'll show you how that works. It works on a foot pedal, so you don't have to use your hands. Everything kind of, stays out of the way. But when you're using that bigger wood, you don't want your hands in there. You don't want to have to be close to that wood, and especially with a splitter that size, it had a disc cleaner with an attached conveyor. I honestly do not think that there is a splitter out there anywhere, and I don't care whose manufacturer it is. This thing is that big and it's that bad. Nobody's keeping up with it. Nobody. It is an absolute monster of a machine. So again, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Bobby texted me this morning, said, "Hey, did you see what I just put out for a video?" I said, "No," I said, "I haven't seen it." I said, "I've been busy, I've been working." He said, "Check it out." So I stopped, pulled over, and I watched like the first 2 minutes of the video, and I was just shaking my head. Bobby is the type of guy that he would much rather build something like that, something big, wild, and crazy, versus the little $8,000-$9,000 entry-level machines. So Yadkin, the price on it is, I believe, $39,000. I think. Don't quote me on that. I think it's $39,000. $40,000 seems like a lot for a log splitter. Watch this log splitter run, and you'll understand why it's a $40,000 machine and why I want one so bad. When I saw that, my first thought was, man, I'd love to have one of those. I don't have wood big enough for it. I'd have to get bigger firewood to use it, but holy smokes, is that thing nice. It never even grunts. Never even grunts. So it's really, really cool. You got to watch it. Daniel Atkins, that was who I thought of when I saw it. Daniel needs one of these redwood series. He's on the West Coast already. He's got that big firewood. We throw a 24-way wedge on this thing. He starts stuffing 36-inch rounds through it. One push, everything's firewood. 36 pieces of firewood, every single push. Like 6, 7, 8 pushes, he'd have a cord of wood. It'd be fantastic. Daniel, you need to start saving your money. Christmas is coming. So that was new news today. That machine was just crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm getting caught up on the chat. I get carried away with that one. Oh no, Robert Daigle, even if we had that big machine, I still need those guys doing those few chords here and there because I can't keep up. Trying to figure out how I missed the video. Somehow I was unsubscribed. Well, you don't want to do that. He also released a video for the Hickory series. The Hickory series and the Bloodwood series, the big diesel splitter we have now, they're going to share the same chassis. So the Hickory series comes in a bunch of different engine configurations and hydraulic sizes to change split cycles and split tonnage. It's the heaviest built splitter on the market, period. Nobody has more steel. Nobody. If you were to put them on a scale, really, 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 I don't think there's anybody that would come close weight-wise. I just don't. GoFundMe for Daniel's new splitter. Absolutely. We could probably do something like that. And Dennis Rexford says if you're going to do that, don't forget him too. So if we get the Cord King and Gramp likes running it, I'm just hoping that he makes way more firewood than what we make now. And I'm just going to push a little harder and we're going to scoop, load, and deliver. And that's going to be part of something that's coming up that you guys will see probably in a month to a month and a half's time. We're gonna change our way of doing firewood, big time, big time. I'm gonna get a little fussier, and I'm going to go a lot faster. So it's going to be a complete and total change from the way I do firewood now. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. So it's going to be an interesting change or challenge. Josh Leach asked how the new woodyard is going. Slow. It's wet. Robert Daigle has a drone, and I think what we're going to do is we're going to have him come up and we're going to fly it, and we're going to show you what is forest now, and then we'll bring him back after we're finished cutting, and he'll show you what was cut out of the forest for the new woodyard, and then maybe bring you back some other times and show you gravel process, show you setup process. If he's good at flying this drone and we can figure out how to get the video out of it, because we're not sure how to get the video out of it yet, we're going to put it into some videos and we're going to get some drone footage. I think that would be really cool to see an aerial view coming in from the road on our new property and see whatever we got going on. Yeah, so Cord King and Easton Maid, they're really close to each other, really, really close to you, to each other. So I was in a huge rush to get the woodyard ready, and I didn't need to rush as much as I thought, because as busy and as wet as it has been this spring, our groundwork guy is behind, like quite behind. My father-in-law talked to him the other day. He's still 3 to 4 weeks away from having to start gravel over there. So it's going to be interesting. Well, they're starting all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I got to go back and see what I'm handling the money for. Lake Ontario 902. Imagine if we all donated $5 to someone for some new equipment, how much equipment people would have. I think, you know, you say something like that, I've always thought about having like a random draw. And we talked about this a long time ago when I used to do a lot of snowmobiling and stuff like that. If we donated some money, you figure out what the pool is, you know, if it's $20, $50, whatever you're going to donate, figure out what the donation is. Everybody gets a ticket, like what you guys said. And then you do a lottery draw. Whatever that lottery draw is, the money that's generated goes to that person. And they use it for, back then it was going to be snowmobiles. So it's definitely interesting to see. I think that would be kind of fun. I'm going to load the processor with the little TYM tractor. I have a set of forks for it, and we're going to load the processor with that. And I also have an International 504 with a bigger loader on it. So if we find that the little tractor is not big enough, we can go ahead and use the International. Some of what's going on, it may be definitely different or something like that. But it's all stuff you guys are going to see coming on. Like I said, I've got so much going on. It's crazy. Don McGimsey says, haven't seen your new woodyard, but my question is, how do you drain with all the sawdust, especially lowland? So you don't. That's the biggest thing. If you go to my yard, it's all sawdust. We keep a pretty heavy mat of sawdust down to cut on so Gramp can keep his chains out of the dirt. And then once they get all that stuff down, then we go ahead and go from there. But with the new property, we're just going to keep pushing it off sideways, and we'll do whatever we got to do and get that taken care of. Hey, have a good night, Daniel. Appreciate you, buddy. And we'll just keep filling in the low-lying areas around and keep pushing it off as it builds up. Outside in the 515 says, or everyone can just use his video. I have a new splitter coming and wouldn't mind some extra money. Yeah, there you go. Brianna Gorman checking in and heard something about a lottery. We were talking about possibly donating a set amount of wood and not a set amount of wood, a set amount of money, and doing a lottery draw so that one person wins the money and we can use it to help them buy new woods equipment for their operation. It would be like a lottery draw. You could buy as few or as many tickets as you like, and then depending on the number of tickets that you sell, we put the numbers into a drawing, pull a number out, whoever's number's drawn, they get it all. It's just kind of like a fun little thing. I know they do stuff like that with firearms and things like that. They do firearms raffles. It would be interesting. I wonder what that would gain for traction, but I think that would be an interesting thing. Frontier Firewood, the Cord King is going to be a big help. Big help for sure. Hey guys, just me tonight. The girls are setting up for our county fair. Yeah, it's fair season everywhere right now. Fair season may be something that ends up being something that I spend a whole lot more time with if some of these things that I have in the works come through. But we'll see how everything goes, and we'll go from there. My wife's making faces at me. And Brianna says if she did that and she put money in, that it would go to Wood for Veterans. So that's fantastic. Wood for Warriors is a fantastic organization. They do an exceptional job at keeping our veterans warm. We're hoping to turn it nationwide. We've got some individuals that are looking to take over state chapters. And we're going to work through that process when we go down on Labor Day to Hickory, North Carolina, and split wood for the veterans. I know one of the things that I have found really quickly with all the traveling that we do is that travel is extremely, extremely expensive. If I told you guys the amount of money that I've spent traveling that has come out of my pocket this year, you would probably cry. It's one of the deals where you got to pay to play. And right now I'm paying, and hopefully someday later on I can be playing too. But it's expensive. We went down for the podcast and everything else. And I would dare say I haven't added it all up completely, but I need to because the podcast is going to be its own legitimate business. I would think that we spent about $2,500 to go down there for the weekend and record for podcasts and do all that stuff. $2,500 for a weekend, couple weekends a month is $5,000 a month times 12 is, you can do the math. Gets expensive fast, and we try to be as frugal as we can. We try not to eat out a lot. It's really, really, really hard to have a business and to try to be growing something like this stuff on the side as well when it comes out of pocket, because most of you guys know, you all sell firewood. There are not huge margins in firewood. Firewood is something that is a volume thing. The more you sell, the more you make, but you still don't make a lot. So taking that $5,000 a month for travel, that really, really hurts. So we're trying to find some ways to supplement that. And I think we've come up with a couple of ideas. Hopefully they pan out and work out, but we'll see. Somebody asked about my health journey. Where is it? Boots in the grass. So I am, excuse me, I am almost 30 pounds down. I'm 4 pounds away from 30 pounds down. And I feel good. My pants are very loose. I do not have suspenders on right now. If I jumped up out of this chair, my pants would probably stay in the chair. So I know it's working. I feel better. I'm moving around better. I'm making more conscious choices as far as to what I eat, when I eat, how I eat. When we went to the podcast this weekend on the way down, just for travel purposes, I ate some fast food. I didn't even finish it. I didn't even really want it. It didn't taste good. I know it's not good for me, so I skipped it. It's a change that you have to be conscious of, and I am committed and serious to this to make sure that we're doing what we need to do. I didn't do this very seriously. Last late summer, early fall, I did this for like a month, I think, and I did not put anywhere near this much effort into it. I didn't work this hard to do it. I'm really committed to doing it this time, because I want to get down to the weight that I felt the best at years ago, and I know I can get there. And I want to see if that weight is what I want, or if we're going to do something else in between. So we'll go from there. I love V8. So I don't do just tomato juice, but I love V8, the spicy V8. So I think that was David Parker just said tomato juice for energy. I like spicy V8. Spicy V8 is like, yes, I will take one of those. The colder, the better. And suck one of those down real quick, and it's a good boost of vitamins and energy for sure. So Yadkin Valley Outdoors, 5K a month is what I'm spending on travel right now, going back and forth to all these shows with hotels and food and travel and fuel. Oh, it's crazy, crazy, crazy how much money you spend traveling. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Josh Leach, I'm not eating a lot of vegetables. I eat my vegetables, but I'm not eating a lot of vegetables. So don't get me wrong. I like steak. I like real food, and I eat it, but I eat better portions. That's the biggest thing. So it's pretty cool to see how it all kind of can come together if you really put your mind to it. You have to make the decision that you want to do better and that you want to make a change. If you can't make that decision and be committed to it yourself, you're going to struggle with it. So thankfully, my wife has a business where they do this for a living. We got my testosterone checked. My testosterone level was quite low. So we're doing testosterone replacement therapy. I think that has made the biggest difference out of anything. I notice my energy is much better. I notice my stamina when I'm working is much better. And I notice that my mind, just mentally, everything seems a lot clearer. And I don't know if that is diet, exercise, and the testosterone, if it's just the testosterone, whatever it is, I'm not sure. But combined everything together, I really, really enjoy the way that I feel right now. And I don't feel like I'm depriving myself of anything. I'll still eat stuff. I'll still eat fries. I'll still eat a little bit of fried food. I just do not eat the portions that I used to eat. So I'm trying to be better about it. Like tonight in my water, ice. That's it. Water and ice. And I drink a lot of water. I had some sugar-free Gatorade today just because I wanted something that was a little sweeter. I had some Gatorade Zero. Still, I think I honestly would have preferred to have the water. So it's really, really cool. And I think for all of us woodhounds, most of us, it's a guy thing, and it seems to be, at least from what I see, we overeat, we overindulge, we eat stuff we shouldn't because we're busy, we're on the run all the time. It's hard to eat right, and it's easy to make an excuse. So you got to do what you got to do. I went to the store today, and I could have grabbed pizza or something like that when I was working with my buddy Dave, but instead I grabbed some deviled eggs. That's it. And I grabbed my sugar-free Gatorade, my Gatorade Zero, and that was lunch. And you know what? I wasn't hungry. It was plenty of food. I felt fine. I came home. I had a small pizza that I got last night that I had 3 pieces left in. I had fed one to the dogs that fell on the floor, so I had 3 pieces the night before. And then we go over there. So I ate that leftover pizza. So I'm still eating things. I'm just not eating as much. Before I would have ate that whole small pizza, and I probably would have grabbed somebody else's if they didn't finish their plate. But it's just telling yourself that you're not hungry anymore. So it's really cool. Yep, we use the air fryer a lot, David Parker. So the air fryer has become one of my go-tos for sure. I like the air fryer. We do steaks in the air fryer actually, and they come out excellent. So it makes a good difference. The Premier Protein shakes, I like those, Yadkin. I used to do those too. So it's one of those deals. And Mike from Lake Ontario Firewood said what one of my problems is. When we were raised growing up, you ate what was on your plate, period. And I grew up that way. and you usually had seconds if there was stuff left over. So I overate basically my whole life, and about 30 years old, my metabolism started to slow down because I was getting older, but I didn't change my eating habits. I continued to eat the same way that I always had, and it caught up to me, and it caught up to me in a bad way. When I started at my very, very heaviest, when I started this probably about a year ago this time now, I was about 330 pounds. No reason for me to be 330 pounds other than that I ate too much. When I was bored, I ate. When I needed a snack, I ate a meal instead of a snack. It's all mindset. So now food is just fuel. I know I need food because I got to have protein to have my energy to keep going. Lots of times I get busy. If I'm busy, I don't even think to eat. So I remind myself I have to eat and I have to have something with protein. So I'm eating smaller portions and I'm doing that 3 to 4 times a day, or at least trying to. It doesn't always work that way, but that's what I'm trying for. And it's making a really, really good difference. So I'm happy. I'm very happy. And Mike said he started at 315 a year ago. He's at 240 right now. The shots work. The shots do work. I have not had my weight loss shot. I'm like 2 or 3 days over, 3 days over when I should have had my weight loss shot. I noticed today I had substantial hunger that I hadn't felt in a while, and that's partially due to that medication wearing off. I could have gone and done a bunch of food and stuffed myself full and probably wouldn't have felt good, but instead I got my deviled eggs and I got my Gatorade Zero, and that was it. So it's hard. I know it's hard. Trust me, I know. I used to be able to eat anytime. I could have just ate and somebody's eating again. They say, "You want some?" I say, "Yeah, sure, I'll eat." I can still do it now, but I know I'm not supposed to. So I try not to. And I've noticed now that just in the 3 weeks of eating better, it's definitely changed my habits. It takes 21 days to break a bad habit. So we're about at that point. And I think at this point, I'm beyond those cravings for the junk and the crap that I shouldn't be eating. So I think from here, it'll get a little easier. Hopefully, I hope. But yeah, it's just controlling your portions. So Boots in the Grass asked if I'm on a weekly shot. So I am on a weekly shot for testosterone. I have low testosterone level. And I'm on a weekly shot of tirzepatide for weight loss, but right now I'm 3 days behind. I usually get that on Sundays, but I didn't get it this Sunday because we were traveling. So I noticed with the shot, absolutely, my brain just shuts off as far as food goes. I don't crave food. I don't need food. I don't want food. I have to remind myself to eat. So that makes a huge difference with that. It's not for everybody. There are some people that really don't like that stuff, and I get it, and I understand. But the testosterone, when I got the blood work done, normal level for a 40-year-old male like me is supposed to be 600. Mine was nowhere near 600. So we're working small dose, working our way up. And I noticed that the dose that I'm on now, this is my 3rd week getting that. I can feel a substantial difference in energy. Again, I feel like mentally I'm a lot clearer. But it's just, it's one of those deals. A little bit every day goes a long way. You got to make those changes. So carnivore diet and water, that will work. If your insurance shut you off on Wegovy, see if you can find a provider around your area, Rob, that does the compounded tirzepatide. That is the generic version of Wegovy, which is what my wife's office does for most of her stuff. And that is much, much cheaper, especially if you're trying to pay for it out of pocket. I don't know what the prices would be out there, but I know here it's hundreds and hundreds of dollars less than the name brand Wegovy. So that could be an option to look into too. Dan's House of Smoking Outdoors. Good evening, buddy. Good to see you. ever see the transformation from the actor Ethan Suplee? He was the big guy from Remember the Titans. I think I have. I think I have. Yeah, insurance is a ripoff. I'll be the first one to tell you that. If we did not have 4 kids, I would not have health insurance because I just don't think it works. Our medical system in this country is broken, and it's crazy. Um, it is what it is. Hey, have a good one. Appreciate you, buddy. So JS Firewood's checking out. He goes to bed early. I go to bed early too. These are my late nights when I stay up and I do the lives with you guys. If I have my rathers, my butts usually rather be in bed by 9 o'clock, but that's okay. I look forward to this. I really was disappointed that we missed a couple of live streams last week. I like the live streams. I like getting to hang out with you guys. I like doing this stuff. It's just something I enjoy. I kind of look forward to seeing the same familiar names in there, and every once in a while we'll get some new names in there. So the new names, I enjoy seeing them pop up and figure out what's going on. So it's just a lot of fun for me. So missing Wednesday and Sunday, even though we did the podcast and it was a great experience and everything, I missed our live streams. You guys are still important to me, and I want to get as many of these live streams in as we can because it's a lot of fun for me. Clarence Dobson, good evening. Have a good night, buddy. Appreciate you. So yeah, it's pretty cool. There's some new stuff in the works for the firewood industry. There's some new equipment and some new products that should be being released into the States. I don't know as it will be anything that's going to be life-changing for us. There's a couple of companies from over in Central Europe, I'm not even sure of the names anymore, that are thinking about bringing log splitters over to the US. It's not going to be like the log splitters we use now, and I don't see any real big advantage to having them come over, and I don't know if they are in fact definitely coming. So keep your eyes peeled for maybe some new log splitters coming over from Europe. But the Europeans, they do firewood much, much different than we do. It's not the same. Very, very different. Hey, have a good night, Wise Choice. Ash is my favorite firewood to split too, so enjoy it. Our ash up here splits fantastic. I love splitting ash firewood so fast. It's my favorite. That and red oak. Red oak splits pretty good too, but oak is heavy. I really enjoy the ash. Hey, have a good night, Rob. I think Perth is about a 7.5 to an 8 hour ride for me. So we're gonna head up, and like I said, we're gonna spend a day up to the factory, and we're gonna see if we can get some of the Cord King guys to give us a rundown on all the machines that they have available that are there at the shop right now. I think they've got a fair amount of machinery that's getting ready to leave, so we should have a bunch of machines that we can look at and have them give us a rundown on the machine that we're going to be bringing back. Excuse me, and just try to get all of that stuff worked out and show you guys the Cord King machines. Cord King has been around for a long time. I call a Cord King a man's firewood processor. And that's not to say that other firewood processors aren't manly, but this is a man's firewood processor because of the fact that you can work on it with hand tools for the most part. It's not overly complicated. The function and the functionality of the machine is very simple, and it's really, really nice to see a machine that you can still work with. So I enjoy that about the Cord King machines. I like the simplicity and the robust design of the Cord King. No frills, no fancy, just straight up make firewood and make it fast. And that's kind of what they're after. Are they the fastest? Probably not. but they are some of the most affordable machines. When you look at the size of the machine and what you're paying, they're probably leader in the class for price. A lot of times the bells and whistles and the great big blazing fast speed that you get comes with a very big price tag too. So we're going to talk about all that when we go up to Cord King, and that'll be fun. I've never been to their shop, so it'll be first time for me, be first time for you guys. Maybe we'll do a live up there, who knows. But I think that it would be really cool to see what's going on. Another moving in again. Fire department's been real busy. Holy smokes, that's never fun. We've been fairly slow right now, fairly slow. Imported machines, the cost of parts, depending on where they come from, if they're coming from Europe, the cost of parts is not bad, because they can source parts cheaper over there than we can get them here in the States. And by the time you add the freight to it, it really figures out pretty good. The stuff that comes from Canada, there's really not much of a difference in price between what we get here in the US. So the Canadian parts aren't too bad. So it's, yeah, it's just, it all depends. Slimmington Seasonal Services. Considering Allwood as my next purchase for the woodyard. Finally pulled the trigger on a new backhoe. So a new splitter is next on the list. I'll tell you right now, it does not matter which all-wood splitter you buy. No matter what you buy, you're going to buy a very nice, very rugged, and dependable splitter. They make a fantastic machine. Can't say enough good about my muscle wood and the amount of wood that we've put through it so far. Zero issues, zero hiccups. It is just fast and smooth. So really, really enjoy that machine. Bill, how we doing, buddy? Good to see you. It was good to see you on the live this morning. And Brandon Hode. How you doing, buddy? You said that I wouldn't like cleaning the barn. I'll clean the barn with you anytime, brother. Doesn't bother me in the least. I grew up on a hog farm and a small beef and dairy farm that my best friend's parents owned, and I've cleaned my fair share of barns, and I've mucked out many a stall. So no problem at all there. So if I am ever out and a guest or in that area, I'd gladly come do some chores with you, buddy. Take a little off your plate for the day, and we can shoot the shit while we do it. I mean, shoot the breeze, sorry. That was a 4-letter word that's not normally on the channel, so I slipped up. I apologize. I try to be good when I'm on the live, but every once in a while I'm just human and it slips, so I apologize. My silage wagon got a bug up its butt. Plugged or broke or what happened to it, Brandon? It's never fun having broken stuff, especially during the summer. Farmers get such a short window in season, and it makes it hard. Absolutely makes it hard. Mike Myers is 68 years old, weighs 215 pounds, and 6 feet tall. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. That's a healthy weight as far as I'm concerned. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, Josh Leach, cleaning the chicken coop out after the hot summer weather that we've had right now. Yes, stinky is the word for it. The ammonia that's in that chicken coop will blow you over. We used to do deep bedding. We'd keep putting new bedding down all winter long, and then in the spring, usually about the time that everything unthawed, usually a Memorial Day, we'd clean it out. Holy smokes, stuff was ripe, very ripe. What's your question, Bill? I'm all ears. So that's the thing. I don't care what the question is. We'll answer whatever we can if we can answer it. And if I don't have an answer, I'll try to find you one. Yeah, that's those silage wagons. They're great when they work. They suck when they don't. We didn't do a whole lot of hay silage when we hayed. We did round bales and we wrapped our silage, so that was how we did it that way. And we did a lot of square bales for the horses. But yeah, hay season was always stressful between weather and temperature and just general growing. Hay season is, for a farmer, that's probably the most stressful season that there is. So Bill Saplarski said she asked him and he had her answer. So there you go. So she did ask you a question. There you go. But yeah, no. So so again, I'm gonna be busy. Just got home. Scott McCain, any thoughts about using hardwood slabs for bundled kindling? Absolutely. If you can chop them 16-inch and find a way to split them down, absolutely. No problem at all. Yep. Yep. So do you spray your rounds for baleage? Yeah, Bobby does not put out a lot of content because Bobby is stinking busy. So Bobby builds quite a few splitters out of a pretty small shop, and he's only got 3 guys basically, sometimes a fourth that works part-time. And two of those guys are full-time, Bobby and another guy. The other 2 are part-time. So they're very busy. And Bobby, he's the type of guy that he doesn't do a lot of social media. He's not really interested in the social media. He doesn't pay attention to everybody's comments. He turns the comments off on his videos. He builds a really nice machine. He knows he builds a nice machine, and he just doesn't want to deal with everybody's bickering back and forth and petty. Well, it would be good if it was like this, or this company's splitter is better because of that, or you can't compete with this splitter. It's, it's one of those deals, guys. You find what you like and what works for you. If you ever are in a situation where whatever you have for a splitter now maybe didn't pan out the way you thought it would, it isn't what you think it should be, you wish something was different, I will never steer you towards a splitter that you don't need. And I will never steer you towards a splitter that you don't want. But what I'll do is I'll ask you a series of questions. And I'm going to be very serious when I ask you that series of questions because let's face it, these log splitters are not cheap. When you start getting into the bigger high output machines, you're talking $20,000, $30,000 for a log splitter. The last thing I want to do is sell you something just to make money. And yeah, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. So Dan's House of Smoke says his won't push most of his wood through the 6-way, and it's one of the big names, 35 ton. So I don't know if you've checked your pressures in your valves, and I don't know if you've checked your pump output pressure. What I find is a lot of the machines are set very conservative from the factory. Once they break in and they wear in a little bit, the tonnages drop off big time, the pressures drop off big time, and they need to be readjusted. We had a gentleman that bought an all-wood birch from us. He was running it. His auto cycle started acting up on him. He thought there was something wrong with it. I told him, I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I said, you've run it for a little bit. You need to adjust your valves. He said, nobody showed me how to do that. I'm not a mechanic. How am I going to do that? I said, no problem. I found him a video. And the video was not even an all-wood video. The video was a Wolfridge video. And I will say this of Wolfridge, and I will say this of Bob Nelson. They do some of the best content out there as far as making sure that their customers are able to make adjustments on their machines that they need to make. So I found the Prince auto valve adjustment video that they had. I sent it to our customer. He messaged me back like a half hour, 40 minutes later. He said, it's perfect. It's all set. Thank you so much. So a lot of times when people say this won't split or this isn't right, it's one of those deals where it's usually an adjustment. These machines are fairly tough. They can take a lot of abuse before you have to worry about replacing pumps or replacing valves or anything like that. So it's one of the deals where the adjustment is important. If you don't know what you're doing, ask. I don't care if it's an all-wood splitter. I don't care if it's a Wolfridge. I don't care if it's an Easton made. I don't care whose splitter it is. I will help you if I can help you. Ask a question. Don't feel stupid. Don't feel like you shouldn't have to. Ask a question. That's the important part. If you ask and I can help, I will, because when I say help someone if you can, I mean that. It's important. So if your splitter's not pushing that through that 6-way, Dan, I would seriously look at your pressures and how your valves are set. And that'll tell you a lot. Yeah, absolutely, Josh. Give a shout. No problem. It's an easy adjustment with an Allen screw on the aluminum block up by your oil cooler. That will adjust your pressure to get it kicked down into the second stage. So yeah, just give me a shout. So that's where I stand. There's things that I don't know as much about. Not huge on chainsaws. I've done what we run for chainsaws. But that's it. So as far as like steels, if somebody has a steel chainsaw, I can tell you how to adjust a carburetor if the carburetor has adjustments on it. If it's an electronic carb or something like that, I don't know. I'm going to tell you to go see your local steel dealer, or I can send you to a couple of guys that are in my area that could help you. But, you know, it's just one of those deals. Hey, have a good night, Symington. Appreciate you stopping by. Save up for that Allwood. You won't be disappointed. You won't be disappointed in anybody's commercial machine, really. They're all nice machines. It's just, it's what depends and what works for you. So you can buy a tachometer right from saw suppliers, Britt. Make sure you put in Willey 10 so it tracks my clicks and all that stuff for them. The tack is easy. You do have limiter caps on the 620, so you can adjust it some. I've not had to touch our 620 since when it broke in. We brought it to the dealer. They adjusted it. The limiter caps are still on it. It's well within adjustment. It runs great. A lot of times I find that if people start tuning saws by ear, and I'm not playing on Heath or anything like that, they'll blow saws up. It takes a good trained ear to pick up on a saw when it's running right. And you definitely need to know what you're doing. Otherwise, it's going to be too lean, and too lean is mean. And you get too mean, you're going to be digging out some green because you're going to rebuild it. So if you don't know what you're doing, bring it to a saw shop, let somebody do it the right way, and then go from there. Yeah, Scott McCain, Kevin's a great worker. He did a great job. So the objective, Britt, if you've got a tachometer, you want to be looking at your max RPM, and then go from there. So it's all adjustment. How will dealers be that didn't sell the saw? Depends on them. Yeah. So sometimes if a dealer didn't sell a saw, they won't do anything with it. But I found that most places around, you've got a chainsaw shop where there's an old guy that's smoking cigarettes and he's been working on chainsaws since before I was born, that can tune these things with his ear better than you can with a tachometer. And he'll definitely, he'll set you right and he'll take care of it. So it's one of those deals. For somebody like Yadkin that just said he has to modify everything he owns, I feel that, and I feel that to a fault because I kind of do the same thing with a lot of my stuff, but there's something to be said for keeping them as stock as possible and still getting what you need to out of them. I'm still not completely sold on the decked imported saws. We've got a decked imported saw. I've run it some. We haven't put it on video yet. I'm still not sure. I'm just not sure. And one of the things that I've been doing that you guys have not been seeing is things that people send to me that they want me to put on the channel or something like that. I use them quite a bit before you guys see them. There was a few things that we put on the channel that I wasn't necessarily 100% satisfied or happy with. So what we're doing is we're testing things first thoroughly before you guys see them. I think that's only fair to you guys. People want us to advertise things, that's fine. And what I've told them, and it's cost me some things. I'll be completely honest. I told a couple of companies, you can send whatever you want. I'm going to test it for a month to 45 days. I'm going to use it. I'm going to make sure that it is worthwhile investment for myself and or my customers. And definitely, you know, I think it's a better way to do it. I just do. I think it's a better way to do it. So we're doing that. And like I said, it's cost me some, but I don't care. I want to be as transparent and honest with you guys as I can. I want to show you the good and bad of whatever we have, so that you can see the difference, because there is a difference. So we'll do what we got to do, and we'll go from there. We do have a German saw coming. It's actually here. Haven't tested it yet. It's a marketplace find. I got a smoking deal, and I've got a brand new one that we're going to be ordering very soon. So I'm going to try a couple of those. It's going to be trial and error. We don't need any more saws. we have 17 or 19 chainsaws between Gramp and I, something like that. And I don't need any more saws. But I'll keep buying them because I want to show you guys. I know you like those Steels Yadkin. Have a good night, Dennis. Have a good night to whoever else was just out a minute before that too. But so your number is more saws, and I like that. But I gotta move soon, and I don't want to move any more than I have to. We're actually starting to pack up probably this week and next week, and moving some stuff to the new house. But one of the things that I want to do, or one of the things that I want to try to do, is make a permanent location, place, and or holder for all of the saws, so that they're easily accessible instead of all kind of tossed under a workbench or up on a shelf, because the shelves are hard to get to, and it's not the right way to store it. I've got some ideas, and we'll see how they go. But we're going to try some new saws, and we're going to go through it. I am tired. So down east, I was working on that sewer line today. It was hot up here. It was humid. I did some serious sweating. I did some shoveling. I did all kinds of not much fun, and I'm feeling it. But it's also past my bedtime. So it's, how many did Bodie move from Georgia, Virginia? I don't know. I'm not sure how many he moved, but I know he moved a bunch of them. Bodie's been staying busy. He's been staying onto YouTube quite a bit more, and then go from there. Hey, have a good one, Brianna. Appreciate you stopping by. But I enjoy this. So we're gonna be working on sell the low end of your old unused saws. So David Parker, we thought about that. We thought about selling off some of our old saws, and we very well may do some of that. But we'll see. We'll see what it is. We seem to have a few saws that we use all the time. I know Grant picks up the 620 all the time. Myself, I like the 372. 372 starts a little hard, but it is what it is. Josh Leach just put my email up there. If any of you guys have questions or need information or want information on Typhoon, Cord King, Allwood, information about sawsuppliers.com, any of that stuff. If you guys need any information on any of the machines, feel free, shoot me an email, let me know what you're looking for, and we'll go from there. But it's interesting to see how we change. When I was younger, I wanted a 395 in the worst way. I got one. I ran it for a couple of years, lugged it around in the woods. The thing was a monster. There's no need for a 395 up here in Maine. The trees aren't big enough. We're not cutting giant hardwood. And honestly, for what we have, a 60 to a 70 cc chainsaw, maybe a little bit bigger than 70, is plenty. Absolutely plenty. And I always thought it needed this great big long bar. I watched all the Buck and Billy Ray videos, the stand up and buck and all this stuff. Yeah, no, not for me. I don't subscribe to that theory. I understand it and I see what it is and everything, but For what we do for work, being in the firewood 90% of the time, I like the shorter bar. It's less teeth to sharpen. The wood that we get is dirty. You're going to be sharpening more. So if I run a 28 or a 36-inch bar or whatever, it's more teeth to sharpen. And it's not doing me any good because the wood is not that big. So yeah, it's definitely, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. 24 inch is plenty, Brandon. You're absolutely right. 24-inch will cut a very large tree. I can tell you right now, there are no trees anywhere near my house that I could not cut down with a 24-inch bar. So, that's most of the time when we're in the woods and we're working in the woods, a 20-inch bar is more than enough. More than enough. There's been very few occasions that we've had to have a 24-inch bar for anything. So again, it's all perspective. It's what you're doing. It's what you're used to. It's how you're raised. A lot of those West Coast guys, they're falling giant trees from time to time. You need that. But, I think a good 70cc saw is probably the best size saw for the firewood pile. So with that being said, if we can deck import some smaller saws that are lighter and get them to cut the same speed as the 70cc saws, I think we're all set. I think that makes a big difference for us, and I think it helps a lot. So I don't know. It's six of one and half a dozen of the other. I'm getting a little fed up myself with chainsaws that are costing upwards of $1,500 to $1,800 brand new. That's just crazy to me. And I know everything's more expensive. I see it all the time everywhere, but I mean, at the end of the day, none of us are getting what we need to for our firewood. So to have them be that much money and to know that that's going to come out of profit for X number of cord before it's paid for, man, it's just hard. It's a hard pill to swallow for me. I want the $500 chainsaws again. I want a shirt that says "Bring back the $500 chainsaw, make America great again." I don't understand why a chainsaw needs to cost $2,000. I just don't. I don't see any reason for it. Yes, they're more advanced. Yes, they're nicer. Yes, there's more technology built into them. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's crazy. I think bring back the $500 chainsaw, make America great again. I think that could be a woodhound fan favorite shirt for sure. Yeah, Bill Saflarski said it. Thank the EPA. That's where the fuel injected chainsaws come. That's where the electronic carbs come from. That's where the safety caps on your carburetors come from. That's the EPA. They think they're making things cleaner, but it's just, I don't know. I really don't. I don't know where it's going to stop, and I don't know if it's ever going to get any better. Probably not. But it's one of those deals where you got what you got, really. And that's the part that is getting harder for me to understand. I guess that's me becoming a grumpy old man, maybe. I don't know. I'm not that old yet, I don't think. But maybe that's me becoming a grumpy old man. I don't understand why everything has got to be so expensive. I just don't, especially if I'm not getting the money out of my firewood. Firewood is a commodity up here in Maine. We're not going to get luxury prices out of it. I get some much better pricing out of it for the restaurants and the bagged firewood, but that's a small portion of my market right now. With all the traveling that I do for shows and the podcast and everything else, I do not have time to expand that market and capitalize on it. So it's one of those deals where I wish there was more of me to go around, but at the same point in time, the world only needs one of me. So I already have a half of me with Richard. So as he gets older, maybe there'll be more of me. But you can only do what you can do in a day, guys. And that's something that I've struggled with my whole life. I have always bitten off more than I could chew. And yeah, it's just, it's funny. I don't know how it worked, but yeah. Oh, Josh Leach, I like that. Josh, speaking of Janice, did you guys ever figure out prices for the podcast stickers yet? I swear I could drink gallons of water now. James Lacey, thank you. I would gladly take a shirt, member of the Grumpy Old Man Club. Because I do. I get grumpy about this stuff. There's really no reason for it, but I get grumpy about it. And I don't know why, but I do. It's just I don't know. It's just me, I guess. But unless anybody has anything else, we're in overtime. I didn't even realize. I wasn't looking at the clock. I was just excited to have a live again and be back to a normal routine, because a grumpy old man needs his normal routine. So we're probably going to call it here, and we'll come back on Sunday night and do it again. Maybe we'll do a recap of the God, Guns, and Sawdust podcast on Sunday, and we'll go from there. Kevin Harvey, you're very welcome, my friend. I'll tell you, for those of you that don't know Kevin Harvey, I'm going to take a minute and let you know about him. He comments on all my videos, and I've got some of the best ideas and some of the best information from him that I've gotten from any of my subscribers. He's been doing this for a very, very long time, worked in multiple businesses, and does a fantastic job. So I appreciate you, Kevin. And I appreciate all your comments, and I wish you nothing but the best for your health. And just wanted to say that. I mean, there's a few people that for a long time have commented on videos, but I think, you know, Kevin is the type of guy that I would definitely buy a cup of coffee for, and I would definitely listen to whatever he had for a story to tell, because I think there's plenty of them there. And that's kind of what the podcast is about, is listening to the stories that those people have to tell. So it's pretty cool. So Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern time, it's going to be on right here. And you'll see the video option. Or if you don't want to look at my face and you just want to listen to it, you can go on and you can get on to Spotify or Apple Podcasts and all that. And we'll go from there. But we'll see you guys soon. Have a new video hopefully tomorrow afternoon. And then we're going to take a road trip. So stay tuned.